Hey, Angie Fenimore here. This is Fat Chat with my writing coach. I know I've been gone for a few days. I went to Idaho near Boise, where my son, my daughter-in-law, and my grandchildren live for a few days for a visit. And let me tell you, there's so much that it's just nonstop, that gets in the way of taking a pause for a 10-minute video. But anyway, so while I was there, I was making quiche. My kids all have this thing. When they get me, they like to have their favorites. So I've got one child, it's always cherry pie. Um, it's chili rellenos, it's enchiladas, different ones like different things. We have a recipe we've been using for about 40 years. We call it meth cookies. They're butter cookies, but you really just cannot stop eating them. Anyway, so my son, he just loves the quiche, and there's nothing like this quiche anywhere on the planet. It's more like a souffle. All right, I promise you, there's a point to all of this. So I have like a little hand mixer. Way, way, way back in the day, I used to actually whip my eggs when I lived in Japan. I whipped my eggs with two forks like this. Because you have to separate out the eggs and then whip the whites. This is how you get this amazing quiche. And then I got a mixer, and it was just like night and day difference, right? Having a mixer to whip those egg whites. So I cannot remember, you guys are going to know, but I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a countertop, mixer with the big thing that comes up and then comes down like that, and the bowl's in there. It's like what real pastry chefs have. So my son has one of these. He was deciding between being a chef and going into medicine. And really, I was like, okay, there's just like absolutely no question about this. Of course, he's going to make his own choice, and I'm not going to try to influence too much because, the more parents try to influence, the worse it goes. Anyway, so he's a registered nurse, and he's going to go to medical school here as soon as um, he's able to. He's registered, and as soon as classes are up and running again. But anyway, so he is an amazing cook. All right. And so he's got one of these countertop mixers with the bowl that attaches and the arm that comes up. You know what I'm talking about, with the big old whipping thing in there. So my granddaughter and I, Maddie, are making um, quiche. Good, yes, KitchenAid. KitchenAid. Very good. I knew somebody would know. Making this amazing quiche. And we're separating the eggs, and I'm teaching her how to separate eggs, with your hands. She's 8 years old, but she's got these little tiny hands, like dinky. She's just this tiny little thing, and she's on the stool, and she's separating out the eggs, and then we put them in there. And I turn the thing on and mix together the rest of the ingredients, and it's holy cow, done like that. And oh my gosh, did that quiche turn out, right? So the point is a tool makes a whole heck of a lot of difference, like a lot of difference, right? And as you already know, I'm all about innovating, up leveling, and changing the game. And when I see something that simplifies and makes writing easier, I try it out. So let me tell you, Plotter blew my mind. Plotter is a fun visual manuscript planning software for writers that allows you to outline faster, write cleaner first drafts, have more fun, save time, and increase your productivity. Okay. So I was quite amazed by this tool. It was something that I'd always, wanted. I've always plotted on yellow pads, or sometimes I'll break out the whiteboard. But when I get deep into the story, I find that I call it floor filing. So it's like all these white cards, that are spread out all over the floor where I'm moving things around, right? So that I can have the story work. So with Plotter, it was no more file cards all over the floor, trying to find that note to self in stacks of yellow sheets, or, store, like having actually to store plot lines, character developments, arc structures in my already overfull brain, right? Okay, so not only did Plotter solve the problem of having a bird's eye view of my entire writing project, I found that what it actually did was it freed up creative space in my brain because I wasn't holding all that information and trying to keep things straight in my brain. And I'm not sure I've told you or not, but I'm like super dyslexic, which is actually access to genius, by the way. But it really mattered to me that Plotter is also super easy to use, like super easy to use. So if you want to discover what I found, we invited our the Plotter guys over for a quick little demo. It's tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow only, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, okay? And there are only 100 spaces. So here's what we're going to cover on the call. And they're actually going to cover this, not me, because they're the experts, right? So what they're going to cover is how to visually outline your books quickly without a whiteboard, how to track your characters and places without index cards or spreadsheets, how to avoid plot holes across your books and your series as a whole, how to have fun planning your books, even if you're a pantser. And, you know, I am such a pantser. That I really appreciate that. And what we do at Calliope is we always do a storyboard. We plot out a storyboard first, and then we draft the project very quickly because you can't revise from nothing, and you can't revise just those first 3 chapters. You get all the way through the manuscript. And what I discovered was Plotter was just like this. It just really merged with what I teach and really works for any writer, no matter who you are. All right. So I'm going to post right now the link to that down below in the chat. And then it's also up in the description for the page or for the, for this, for a Phat Chat with Writing Coach. Okay. So there you go. There you have it. There's only 100 spaces. That's it. And I will say it's ridiculously affordable, really, really inexpensive. Okay. And amazing, just extraordinary. And like I always say, if you want game-changing results, you have to change the game. You actually have to look at what's not working in what you're doing, like big picture. Okay. And this is a tool that solves a lot of writing problems. So there you go. That's tonight's Phat Chat. I'm also going to, I put it on the Calliope Writing Coach page, but I'm also going to drop in a link to my little daughter, my granddaughter, telling a story back in the day. This is like 4 years old. And I happened to whip out the phone. I was so happy I did that. And then I made this fun video out of it. So here you go. That's in there too now. There you are. You kind of want to watch that just because it's so much fun. And the point is that you're already a storyteller. It's in your DNA. We are creative geniuses. And we all are. We are all storytellers. We've been storytellers ever since our great-great-grand cave parents started drawing on the wall. And then you went to kindergarten and got trained out of you. You started having to learn how to survive and belong to the tribe at the same time. And you were also introduced to linear learning, which is really important if you're going to be a registered nurse or a doctor. Really, really important to learn certain things. But that's not where our creativity lives, okay? But watch her. She nails story structure. She nails all of it in this little video telling a story, and nobody taught her anything, right? Okay, she just happens to be before she went to school, okay? And that creative gate is wide open. So there you go. That's it for tonight. And here is my challenge. Take it or leave it. Be innovative AF. Ciao for now.